it's already over. That would just be it. Like, Gambit will basically confirm the victory there and then. So who knows? Hopefully he'll stay quiet. I know that people have wanted that from the social media team as well. Maybe they're the same person. You never know. Maybe they're the same person. It was Jonas all along.
It could be. It could be. Yeah, it looks like he hasn't sent out any cursing tweets just yet. We'll see how that situation develops. Keep our fingers on the pulse of that. As the Pistols already seeing Team Liquid plant down on the B side. Gambit are quick to respond, taking mid control. Another player here. Great decision by Yampy. Cloudburst and dash out of there. He was about to be swarmed upon by the entirety of Gambit. He actually goes back. He's going to get an insanely well-timed flank on them. I was waiting to see if someone turns around and checks it, but no, blissfully unaware of Yampy coming up behind. This could be Team Liquid with the round in the bag. He hasn't given away the game just yet.
They just defused it.
They defused it. He got a kill afterwards as well. Oh, I thought he'd get it. I thought he'd get it through the wall for sure, but no, they just managed to defuse. Whew, that's not how Liquid wanted to start this one out.
No, they literally did everything right except kill the guy defusing the spike. Who knew that would be the analysis I have to give you? By the way, lads, make sure that you kill the guy who's defusing the spike, because otherwise you're going to lose the round. Like, Nats just sat there the whole time. Had his utility up as well just to make it a little bit more difficult. And yeah, they close out all the remaining kills. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit more of an investment here from Liquid, but they actually don't spend too much. Now, they can get the Sheriffs on without having too much financial problems, because obviously we're going to actually see them have that spike plant, and there was actually some investment into shields for Scream, and that is now gone.
What was that from Defo? He just quick scoped him. I've never seen someone quick scope like that on range as well.
Player standing.
Well, that's the thing, actually. In their game versus Ascent, we saw an incredible map from him versus CNED when it was on Ascent. But when it came to this map, he got owned. Like, the aggressive entrying that was coming out on the operator from CNED was just something that nobody on the Gambit side seemed to be able to handle. Now, Jumpy is definitely a player that can have that level of games, but I just don't see it as being as big a problem. Like, I think that was the thing that made this map so much tougher for them. And as Ryan was sort of saying, other than that, they had a ridiculous win streak on this map within their own region. It was only really denied by, well, the big bad boss that is Ascent. That was a pretty sick shot. I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's an all right shot.
It was decent.
That really caught me off guard. I mean, oh, Snake by Deep actually going to be catching a little bit of damage onto Yumpy, but he's dropping down, starting to move up. They've got the drone covering right side. They're clearing left. Everything going according to plan here for Team Liquid. They've managed to get over to yellow. It's a lot of map control. They've flank covered by Sulcus. Reminiscent of the kind of Mixwell Viper play, lurking over towards the other side of the map. But the wise thing here, and primarily because of Sulcus, they don't have to commit to B. You can see already the spike is rotating back. The big hole in their offense is that mid play, and currently you see Redgar wants to try to get a little bit of ground there, but he stops short inside Tube.
Tentative round. A chance for Gambit to get off to an incredible start on their defense once again, and of course on the other side of things, Liquid desperately wanting to break back early, especially in a round where they have such an advantage. Now, they've taken a hell of a lot of control, and considering the range of the weaponry that's currently available for Gambit, an afterplant here would be pretty rough to deal with. The problem is they've still got to get rid of Nats, and he's actually using a lot of his utility to try and make things a little bit more awkward for them to try and go for a plant. And with only 16 seconds left, they're already looking to try and break this wall. In fact, it's going to be a different plant spot, but they're going to be able to deny it. They have to be really careful here that they get someone back onto that plant and quickly. Nats, I don't know if he's going to have an angle on this. He tries to peek out, but this time they're ready. If it went down again, that round was over. It was done, and Defo staying alive would have been enough. Now, he wants to try and make this costly, and he gets nothing. It was close, but ultimately Liquid get what they want, which is most of their players surviving.
Yeah, 4 players alive. Ideal scenario for Team Liquid. Saving up that cash. Reinvestment is minimal. Over on the Gambit side, this is their buy-up, their chance. It made a damn good attempt of it, though, playing down on that time. Like the Shados is able to sneak in here. A big gap in that offense, but Nothing to follow up on.
Last player standing.
I mean, if that wall was broken in the meantime, the round was over.
Yeah.
Like, that's not something that Liquid will get away with in a buy round.
The double shock dart? It is. Not quite going to find anyone. Ooh. Nats has managed to fall back. Again, he's got his one way, but this is a very aggressive push coming out from Yumpy, just taking the control, but he's met with Defo's operator. I don't know if they expected that to be in just yet.
Very early bought up, absolutely.
The hunt begins.
But it doesn't give them the man advantage for long. It's quickly stolen back by Liquid. A sneaky little position by Nats. As Link comes out healing himself, completely unaware that Nats had blown under the radar. Now, Link has the res, but he's dead. That's the problem, right? He's not going to be able to help out in this round, so we look for Scream. We look for Cryptics now to attempt the clutch. The 1v3, the plant attempted here. Wall bangs are good, and they even take him down in the end. Gorgeous stuff. 3-1 we go.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a Gambit round if it wasn't with a wall bang, right? That there was just something they were pulling in the entirety of the last round. Yeah, I think he was actually he was trying to res in that moment. Like, and they just didn't, they weren't aware at all of the position of Nats, which, I don't know. I feel like that's something you need to clear out a little bit better from Liquid, just allowing him to just lurk around in this position. The round just completely fell apart, and, well, realistically, from then onwards, it was never really going to go their way. Some strong rounds coming out from Gambit, but Liquid still have a purchase. As said, 4 players survived in the last round, so they're not in too bad a spot here.
Chronicle this time is the player to get aggressive, but he'll be spotted up and has to run for his life. Players on top attempting to pursue that drone, going to get a whole bunch of information as it comes around. Sees Reyna up close. They'd already spotted Jet out, but it's not enough. The fact that it gets destroyed so early on really stops any sort of aggression out of Defo. Obviously, with the entire team of Liquid there, they could have some serious control and late round diversion as we come into the final minute. Looked like Liquid wanted to go in through middle. I'm not even sure if they've fully decided on what they're doing yet. Leaving a lurk out here in the form of Solkas. The whole team escorted him into position. Now he falls back and is covering for the B push. This seems like they're trying to catch Gambit, getting aggressive, but it's just not happening. And finally, they're going to be forced into a more direct hit.
Power of the Reyna. The dismiss to get out of there, the jump up above from Scream. He's going to clear some of the closer range positions, knowing there's nobody still within the site can give them access, but there's been quite a bit of utility to try and deny them from going any further. The wall not going to last long. Actually, doesn't get killed off and Scream goes down. It looked like he was dead for sure, and now they still need to clear these positions because they don't have a spot to plant in. That hasn't spread far enough either, so they're still going to be able to stay close.
10 seconds left.
Oh, Link in a bit of trouble. I don't think he could get the res off there. Maybe because Cryptics was in the plant right on top. Like that, advantage is theirs, and Gambit just roll over them. Easy peasy. It's going to be a 4th round now for Gambit to play with, and I got to say, if you're Team Liquid, you're going to be pretty upset at losing that round. That should have been easily secured.
Every time they pull out the res, they lose. It's just so many awkward positions that they're attempting to use it. And I think they're also a little bit unlucky that some of the utility doesn't spread as far as they would have liked it to. Like that snake bite goes just a little bit further, and Shados is dead. No way he kills off Link. And, well, this round really could have gone either way. Instead, well, losing that battle gives a lot more space to Redgar, who, again, is just going to almost take liberties with how aggressive he jumps over the head of another player and they don't even notice.
Oh, well, that is an ambitious early round play. Of course, there is the backup there for Chronicle, but now he's being challenged up close. I mean, versus this kind of buy, that is incredibly aggressive. And with Shados punished, now it might come back to bite them, Tom.
Oh, okay. Never mind. They're doing a lot with this. And actually, it looks like they're going to actually opt to fall back. Now, they still have the res. Hey! They finally managed to use it. And they got... Okay, now they got Blade Storm. That was actually so worth. Like, they managed to bring him back, get his ultimate online, and now Nats has had to commit one of their own. If they manage to win this round with this much invested from Gambit, this would be huge. But they need Yumpy to find something here, because pushing into this when you're the ones with pistols becomes a little bit tougher.
At this point, they think they've sold the full rotation. They're starting to move back towards middle. And if they go down through the B alleyway, they could be in a lot of trouble. You see the operator of Defo is still posted here with all of his utility. His dash still online. The wall's going to go up, not quite in time. And Defo catches the shot. Now falling back to the site. Operator still up and ready to go. The wall of his teammate comes up a bit too early, but I guess they're happy to just play for the retake.
Spike planted.
I'm a little bit surprised they actually don't give that plant over. That could have been a Viper's Pit of their own and giving them a huge advantage in trying to hold on to this retake. Instead, well, Cryptics at least is going to be able to play for that after plant. Have to go quite deep, and it means that the time needs to be picked up a little bit. But Nats is already going to kick things off with a kill onto Link. Soulcast, I felt like he needs to find something. The Hunter's Fury can't do everything. He needs a headshot, and he gets nothing, and, well, yeah.
He didn't know if they were defusing it already, in all fairness to him, but in a 1 versus 3, it almost feels like you're better off saving that ultimate.
That was the thing, like, what I meant by Soulcast needs a kill, it's not because, like, like, he needs to do something ridiculous with the business. It's literally because that ultimate becomes just void if there's that much time left on the clock, so...
But also that many players.
True.
Because even if the time was low, they could just have to fuse on it on one, tank it, die, let the other guy finish the fuse, and you're too far away to stop it.
Yeah, unfortunate. And as said, I am a little bit disappointed they didn't, like, switch up who was putting the ultimate down. I know there's sort of minuscule seconds, but I just think add a Viper's Pit into that, you're within it with pistols, maybe it goes their way. Now, it's a lot committed for both sides in that one. Quite a few weapons lost as well for Gambit. But they've also removed a Res, a Hunter's Fury, and a Bladestorm. Now, even though it was just pistols, that's still a pretty decent round for them, considering how many they had left at the end. And now they have a Bladestorm and a Res of their own.
Not a bad trade-off, really, for just the 1 round.
Yeah.
And the tactical timeout called in here for Team Liquid. Now, they're investing fully into this and pulling the operator out on Yampy, so this is where we need to see results. Otherwise, Gambit just really run away with this. I mean, Tom, when you look at these two teams, would you say you expect Gambit to do worse on the attacking side?
No, not really. Like, I think that they still have an incredibly good defense. Like, I think they're one of the teams that do actually put up maybe even the majority on the defensive side. But it's a map where realistically I expect anyone playing it except maybe Guild to do better on the attack. And that's just because Guild's defense on this map is really enjoyable. This time though, Chronicle has finally been shut down, and properly. Like, he's been able to get away with a lot. Of course, the ability of Reyna is to get aggressive and then dismiss out of there. That is the point. But with Yumpy finally bringing in that operator, it was the downfall of Gambit last time. Can it be once again?
Only one way to find out. Oh, Scream with a nice little shot.
Welcome to my
Standing atop the corpse of his enemy. And in fact, considering it's a 5v3, I'm almost surprised that they go for the Viper's Pit this early on. I mean, they were guaranteed a safe plant, and who knows, maybe Scream gets 2 more. In the meantime, now they use the pit to actually pull off a little bit of a retake, but Shados is all by himself. He has a res online. He's going to heal up. 1v2. And there's the res over in the corner. They haven't got an angle on it just yet. They get spotted, and Shados delivers. It's all onto Yampy. An op in his hand, and a 1v2 as he closes in, starting to move around the left side. He's going to pick up a weapon. They've heard it, and Shados gets all 4. What an incredible round from him, and Gambit rewarded with a 6th on the board. Strange that Redguard defuses. He already had his ult online, but hey, who cares?
I think at this point they're too busy fist bumping. He's already saying to him, like, see, you're making my interview look good. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. But this is another round. I want to go back to Bind. I want to go back to the first map. This is a round that Liquid should never be using. You even said it, like, oh, maybe they've committed a little bit much here by using the ult in a 5 versus 3. They still lost. They still lost.
How did they not? I am at least 99% sure that was a headshot with the right-click Bladestorm. and it did, you know, it didn't kill him. He was still standing. I don't know how that happened. Unless maybe it was it hitting the metal behind it that looked similar, possibly, but
I think it's the right
anyways,
click, right?
rounds.
The right click, right? If only one knife connects.
I mean, you headshot and nothing else connects.
Yeah, I think
I don't
think
know.
that's
I'd like to see a
unlikely,
slow-mo
but yeah,
of where
I
those
think
knives
that's
went.
the only way that happens in my mind. At least.
It's very. The point is, it's incredibly unfortunate.
And they still won.
Oh, Redgar, hello. He's right up behind them. Look at dismiss. Scream was dead. He got shot at the last second. So he runs through, starts spraying, and he's like, wait, where is everybody? where are they gone? And just gets absolutely destroyed from behind. Defo missing the shot, but Chronicle buys them a chance to get back into this. Defo on low HP. He's going to be a bit hesitant. Make it into the site, certainly to take the first combat. This is where Chronicle needs to go huge for them. A flank from Defo actually might buy. Oh my God, they're not looking at it at all. If he can hasten it up a little bit, or if Chronicle can keep distracting, this could be the round.
I don't need
it. In fact, he just kills them all. Oh, how many of these rounds where an individual steps up and just wins it out all by the? Whoa. Chronicle, get the
Screw your blade storm.
so toxic. That's Redgar and Chronicle who both like had teammates going, hey, can I get it for ult? Can I please get it for ult? Nah, I got a 4K, I'm taking it.
He's basically just saying like, what, you won the ult point when you were the observer in this round? Like, nah, you got to watch me play. I get to take the ultimate orb even though it doesn't have any value.
He doesn't even get.
Yeah.
Was his, like, his ult is still online, so he doesn't even get an orb. Yeah, it's still online.
Look.
Okay.
Yeah, they're winning 7-1.
Like he's taking the defuse. He's got no orbs. I mean, you're 7-1 up. Yeah, it doesn't matter that much, but it still kind of annoys me.
It's
because you never know. But butterfly effect, right into the future round. We could be sat here saying, oh, if only like Shados had a res, or only Defo had a blade storm, if only Chronicle had a head still. Things would be looking a lot better. Good trade back by Defo, and he keeps on going. The dash already used up. Has to be careful, and Scream takes him out. A site overrun in a 4v3 retake. I mean, look, unless Shados gets like a 4K, this round should be Team Liquid.
Well, yeah, the last 2 rounds, they've had huge advantages, and it's going the same way again. They've already lost the first man on the block now. I don't think the Hunter's Fury has cleared out Cryptics at all.
It hasn't. It served its purpose in stopping the plant and letting Shados get a kill. But Cryptics is going to go for the plant now anyways. Shock Dart in. It's actually going for around the other side of the site, so it doesn't deal a whole bunch. It doesn't deal any damage, in fact. They have a wall of their own. I'm just noticing that for Shados here. If they can actually find a kill on site, this wall buy them so much room, but he's gone. That is a massive kill for Cryptics. The follow-up not quite there. This round is still under threat as I see Scream starting to make his way forward. Nice little position tucked up, waiting for Nats to push. And a rare whiff from Scream. The snake bites going down cost them a lot of time. Solkus needs to be dealt with here and now, and that he is. They can still get in there afterwards as well, even on low HP. The orb wasn't on top of the spike, and that is there...
What? No! He didn't get it! Oh, it was so close! I think even like, thankfully we've got Soulcast's cam on Nats, because we actually got to see his reaction of just how close that was. It's still a worry for me though, Mitch, because this is now 3 rounds back to back where they had fairly decent advantages, and just Gambit are able to just find a way back in off an individual play, off a risk taken almost every single time. They're just unable to hold on to any of these rounds, and sure, it's a victory. Good, it's a round on the board. But they survived with 0 players.
Yeah, there is no future-proofing here. And we're not even talking economy-wise. It's more a question. I like that a lot. Sorry, quick comment on that B ult. We talked about it before, Tom. You remember we saw a team do this, and it didn't actually extend fully towards the B site, which meant you needed 2 players to actually actively defend it. Whereas now the Viper can hold this by herself from that position. So good improvement on the high ult.
This is ratty. Oh, he's only gonna get 1. No! There was a chance for so much more.
You will not.
Chronicle's gone on site. Res comes in. Team Liquid, they've got everything to play with here. 5 versus 3. I'll say it again. Surely they don't lose this one, as the first kill comes in for the Gambit retake.
Spike planted.
I would be very disappointed if they did. No, he's used that in this round.
Right here.
Oh, he's used it. Sorry, of course. Yeah, he did. I just glanced quickly. I was thinking of possible ways Gambit win this, but now there seems to be virtually none.
Yeah, virtually none, but somehow I still don't feel confident. Like, Liquid looking a little bit better, and actually, one of the ways they can win this is the remaining players just fall back. Now, Scream, he wants to try and make this as costly as possible instead, and gonna lose his life itself. And Nats is almost just trying to play as, like, the body block here. Make sure that nobody's able to get anywhere near that operator. Redguard will bring that through into the next round, and unless he gets caught into middle, gonna be the save at least. Now Liquid, they've got a couple in a row. That one looking a lot better than the last couple we've seen. Nats is gonna hear all the footsteps, but they won't be able to close him out.
I mean, considering Gambit's history on the attack side, it's not out of the question that Liquid make this comeback. And this is where Gambit need to be very, very careful. It's a couple of times now that we've seen that A site just get completely ran over. And especially with how Shados has been able to find himself the position that he had in the previous round, it's difficult to fight vertically down. And he hadn't seen the two players that were right below him, so it was a little awkward as they ran out. But still, excuses aside, they need more than one kill as a team who has a res available pushes into their site.
Already going to be spotted. Redguard looking like he wants to take this duel, but does only have a Spectre in hand. Chronicle actually looking to get a little bit more aggressive in mid, but that's based off the aggressive up spot of Defo. At least giving them some information. Now, Liquid have definitely had their success when it comes to this A site, so they're going to look to try and challenge this once again. The operator still with the dash, so he does has the ability to just take a shot, escape into the back of the site, and it will depend on whether or not Liquid can shut him down.
Oh, Defo isn't blinded up. They thought for sure he would be. Link swinging into the angle, not expecting the operator to still be here. A missed shot from Defo, and Scream capitalizes over on the site. Here comes the Viper's Pit, meaning that Defo's operator is discounted massively in terms of the impact it can have. Redguard has some great timing here.
I have this.
He has snuck up right behind them. They checked it, but they didn't see him. They should never expect him to be here. The problem is most of the teams inside that Viper ultimate. He's not really going to find the opportunity to take them down as they planned. But maybe the opportunity to eliminate Scream. There it is. He's caught him. The recon about to bounce off. Maybe. Oh, it didn't quite make it across the line. Cryptix is safe on the edge. Waiting for them to push on through, thinking the angle's clear, but Nats still checks it. And from the rope, delivers a headshot. Bit ridiculous. Sulcus. Yeah, there was no way he won that. I mean, if you just, there was a freeze frame there where there were 4 players on a screen, all in different angles.
And all glowing in red. That's about as creepy as it can get. An 8th round onto the defensive side for Gambit. They're looking strong once again. And bear in mind, we are now edging ever closer to one of these two teams qualifying for Berlin. As we mentioned, there's a lot on the line here in terms of other stuff for Liquid, but for Gambit, this is the goal. They're currently 8-3 up. We're going to need a pretty ridiculous comeback going into the second half, whatever happens, but a last round on the board might just make all the difference for Liquid, so we'll see if they can bring anything back here.
I presume we have a tactical pause. Oh, no, we don't. We're right into the round. Okay, so let's take a quick check in on where Team Liquid are at. They've got a pistol in play for Sulcus. Everybody else taking rifles, with the exception of Yampy. Spectre in hand. Oh, Chronicle doesn't hit the shot. Okay, that is a lifeline for Team Liquid. They should be a man down already. As they move towards the site, Scream, the man who would have died, is able to pick up the opening. Chronicle barely making it away with his life thanks to the dismiss, but Scream is in hot pursuit. Eventually falling back. And they've lost Shados. And that's incredibly important, Tom, because that's the res out of the round for Gambit.
Yeah, we also see the Empress invested for Scream. We've seen him win so many rounds, and a single kill will bring him straight back up to healthy again. The flank watch, though, by the pistol player, and that's the opener. That's the kill they needed to start really putting doubt in the minds of the remaining players for Liquid, because they now have to split their gaze. They need to take some control. And already Chronicle is going to pick up another. Now he has the Empress as well. The face-in from Redgar is going to close out another. It's all onto Link. He's doing a decent job of it, but the round will go the way of Gambit. A 9-3 defensive half for the CIS organization. Liquid have a mountain to climb.
That they do, and we talked about the potential recovery of Liquid coming onto this map, but they are looking almost identical. And the real surprise here, and what we had pitched at the very start of this map, was the battle between Defo and Yampy. And whilst Yampy is not having a great time, he finished that half with 3 kills, and no doubt will have an easier time now moving on to the defensive side. The interesting point is that it isn't really either of them that's leading the charge of the team. We thought they would be the key factors, and yet a very different game is unfolding with some incredibly impactful rounds coming out of the likes of Shados and of course.
Doing it again.
Yeah. Another Paul. No.
Ryan's gonna have another mental breakdown when it comes back to the desk. Who takes pauses like this? But I really do like it, because these, for them now, like, they're in such a commanding position. These are the most impactful rounds of the map. Like, these are the rounds that if Liquid win this and they win the follow-up, they can compete. I want to put this out there as well. The last time they played this map, even though they lost, they actually got 9 rounds on the defense. It was their attack that let them down. Well, 9 rounds would be enough here. And they've proven in the past that they can put that many rounds on the defensive side. Gambit as well has said, like, a lot of the time, their attacks let them down. Although if you look at some of the games versus Finest, for example, they actually got 10 rounds. So let's ignore that one for the sake of storylines. But yeah, it's going to be one of those spots where they need this pistol, and Gambit know it as well as we do. So they're trying to make sure that they at least get those extra couple of percentage to make sure they get this over the line.
A lot of pressure on Liquid. This pistol, to get their foot in the door to recover this half. We know that, as you said, the attack for Gambit isn't exactly where we expect them to pick up all of the rounds. This pistol would be a great way for them to kick it off and maybe secure the entire game. And that spot in Berlin, the fight on site is awkward, leaving Cryptics on 4 HP. His bow spotted. And look at that plant right up above, dodging the shock darts as they come in. I don't know how Cryptics is alive. He just got shot at, but he's 4 health, and then Defo even ends up dying. This is looking very good for Liquid as they try to come back in. All they have to do is deal with Redgar up above, who hasn't been spotted. He's dropping on them with the right clicks, but then out comes the bow. He tries to recon them and in fact ends up dying, but a little bit ambitious on that range, Nats. It's diffused already.
Enemy remaining.
There's no way for him to stop it. A shame. For Nats, at least. But not for the game, because we kind of needed Team Liquid to win that pistol, and now the comeback begins.
A solid round from Link. Even closing out with a right click on the ropes. I have to say, probably 2 of my least favorite things in this game being used at exactly the same time. This was just a little bit awkward, the timing of the peak. I did believe for a second that they were going to be able to pull this back. And actually, maybe they would have done, because of Nat still managing to do this much damage. But realistically, it was over. They also had a snake bite ready, but that plant is not one that really, well, it works too well, especially from the far back positions. It's quite a hard shot, or hard lineup to land.
I have to give credit to Cryptics there as well for continuing to peak despite being 4 HP, and a lot of people are going to hide in that kind of scenario, but he just goes out and realizes he has to buy time for his teammate, and luckily he does. Opening kill kind of goes Gambit's way, to be honest, considering they're on pistols. 1-for-1 trades, exactly what they want on the attacking side as well. Only double down on that point, but Sulcus is happily able to trade it and fall back.
Gonna get the information. And that's all he really needs. The duel going the way of Scream in the Battle of the Rainers as well. This is looking a lot better. Now, again, you have to premise this. With this round, Liquid want to be, well, they don't want to lose anyone else more. Like, even a couple of kills here, there'll be a full buy coming into the next, and they want to play it as a bonus round. So realistically, We don't want to see any more damage. Now, Scream, in theory, should be in a good spot to get this kill. He actually turns his back, but the timing works out for him. And it leaves just Defo remaining. Deadly with this Marshall. Oh, the timing of the Lear catching him there as well. Just a little bit unlucky. I feel he would have got that kill otherwise.
Yeah, it was about to be a free kill, 100%. The Lear saving the life of Scream. As we push on, Team Liquid still got one hell of a hill to climb. It's an uphill battle for sure. And the thing is, Gambit now buy their rifles. This is where they have the advantage. And still the comfort. You know, one other thing, Tom, I wanted to point out about the pauses they've been pulling off. I really feel like that's sort of leveling themselves, considering how important this series is, and just saying we're winning 9-3, but let's all calm down and let's make sure we close this out. And also has the added benefit of Team Liquid sat there going, what the hell is this for? Why are they pausing before pistols?
We already had a plan in our pistol round. Why do we have to wait for them to come up with theirs?
Yeah.
Oh, dearie me. Soulcast is in trouble. Now, those boxes are pretty strong, but once they get just that little bit closer, I don't think he's going to survive much longer. He actually ran just all the way. He walked through the snake bite just to kill him off. Link, this position could be everything, though. Actually wins the duel, peeks back in onto the blinded Defo, and he gets 2 for his money. That is a huge couple of kills that gives him a chance in this round.
Massive work being done. Red guard just about opens up the A site, though, and now Team Liquid start to flock towards that side of the map. Luckily, Nats doesn't make any noise. If he threw down the snake fight, they'd know he was still here, but now he has a little bit of a sneaky flank here in Cryptics, and Chronicle steals it away. So that's unfortunate. I mean, that was the wrong play by Chronicle. He is also on 37 HP, so there's a lot of things there that, you know, weren't exactly the best idea, but
Spike planted.
he got the kill, so it's okay.
Yeah, this is where there'll be a lot of people being like, oh, but if it worked, that means it was good. No. No, I'm not accepting that, because it was just a free kill for his teammate. It just swings it. Yumpy is having a rough game as well, and it was one of the players that I highlighted on that attacking side. That was what Gambit really struggled against, was that aggressive operator. They could not play versus CNED. Unfortunately, well, Yumpy's been anything but CNED. He's not been close to it, unfortunately. It's just been 3 kills for him. I think one of them was with the operator, and other than that, had an incredibly quiet map, which, well, it's the worst possible map for him to go quiet in.
No, that's fair to say. Maybe it's the pressure getting to him. I mean, we've seen Yampy have a little bit of a tough time in the important games before.
I know,
as much as a hero is,
I don't believe it.
The hero he's always described to be, we forget this is a very young player, and you know those kind of things they come with experience. Oh, the barrel was spotted by Cryptics. He's ready for Nats to re-aggress on that. The kill. I mean, Cryptics was holding that. He was fully ready for the peek, and he still loses. No, there's being ready for someone to peek the angle, and there's being ready for Nats to peek the angle. Those are 2 very, very different things.
The warm up your
wall's
fingers.
just broken. Link has just been headbutting that ice wall for the last 10 seconds, waiting for it to break so he can get this flank on. I don't know for sure that this is where the attackers are coming towards. Link is gambling, and he's gambled correctly. Now getting a flank play on the Nats. Solkus holding strong on yellow. And everything's working out for Team Liquid here. The 2-man advantage in play. Solkus getting the info, hearing the players up close. They need to be careful not to let this one slip, but it looks like they've got a handle on it. Maybe not. Chronicle really pushing their buttons, pulling it into a 1 versus 2 as he closes the distance. He's not even scared about the peak coming in. And now that he's on site, surely it's not expected. A 1v1 all of a sudden. Yampy on 60 HP with the operator, having to clutch this out, and the spike is now planted. He has no idea where Chronicle has gone. This is going to be a game of cat and mouse, and Chronicle actually got the timing. It's another round for Gambit, and a devastating loss for Team Liquid. They had that one in the bag.
I don't want to bring it up, but Yumpy missed the free kill on him, like at the beginning of the clutch. Like, he peeked out initially, and it came back to bite him in the end. That was incredibly well played from Chronicle. Like, I think they're just underestimating the fact that he would just not shoot either of the Lears. Like, Scream still had a decent idea of where he would be, but I think it takes a certain type of player to just walk through that, because you're opening yourself up to just being insta-killed and looking like a fool. That was a beautiful round from Chronicle, and, well, now really is trouble. Nice work from Soulcast, though. How's he get 2?
He peeked into a drone as well. Like, he knew the drone was there, and he said, screw it. He knew he was going to be revealed. That is such quick thinking on his feet. Now the advantage sits to Liquid. They're diving down. Link dying. Cryptic's tagged up, 20 HP. He's in a little bit of trouble. Spraying through the Viper's pit on 20 HP. Are you okay, Cryptix? He's left at 2. Screen playing up close. He's got 1 kill and he's out of there. Healing all the way back up now. Still with that Sheriff, though. He wasn't able to recover a weapon. Yampy behind enemy lines, catching Redgar off, and Nats much of the same play. But a 1 versus 2. Scream has 1 health. Yampy on 100. This has to be around the Team Liquid win. The spike is down, but it's not in the open. It's it. Oh, that is a very risky play going up top, and in fact, he might just have been spotted. There's the shot, but no connection, and Scream finishes the round out. Liquid luckily winning that one to bounce right back into the half. Actually, Gambit's economy is kind of shaky, I think, if I remember correctly.
Well, honestly, at this stage, I feel like I'm just having to keep my eye on what's going on in the round. I do what, like, firstly, this is ridiculous. Like, that second shot is just wonderful. But then you also have the fact that you sort of mentioned the shots being, like, shot through everything. I actually think that that was bait to just give Yumpy a little bit more time, a little bit more space, because his flank was almost everything there. He gets that kill, retrieved rifles for his teammates, and then, as it came down to a 1 versus 3 needed, a lifeline for Team Liquid, a position where it looked rough, and as you mentioned, the economy now a little bit more problematic. Now, they have managed to tag up Scream, but he is going to be able to escape, and they've caught out the lurk of Nats as well, which, hey, that's always going to be valuable.
Cleanup of a round, you would imagine. You hear the Sheriffs firing off, but not too much connected by them. Eventually, a kill for Chronicle, a second kill for Chronicle. Let's see if he can ace this round out. That's what's needed. And he's out of bullets. He forgot to reload.
Oh, looked like temptation was there, but not really.
He's just
economic res that
dancing.
they needed. You know, shaking a little bit, and you know what? Gambit might be as well. Still firmly in the lead. But we've seen them do this throughout. I almost wonder if they're trying to use it like the old school, like, Fnatic Counter-Strike team, where it's just a pure mental thing, where, like, they even went through it afterwards. It was like the Fnatic pause. It's like they just pause, do absolutely nothing, but because they paused, they knew that they would win the round. And obviously everybody on the other teams just sat there going, what are they going to do? Like, this is Fnatic. They always win after the pause. What's the plan here? And the plan was nothing. Yeah. It was just, you're now in your own head that we're going to do something ridiculous.
Yeah, you're going to do something, so we need to do something to counter that. And in fact, you're just waiting for us to do something. We'll see.
Pronax,
I mean, that's definitely something that needs to be asked.
He didn't need to do anything.
I think, like, definitely a question for the interview, if Gambit win, is why? Why the pauses? I think Ryan will blurt that out before they even start.
Why?
So he'd be like, I'm here with Shados, and he's like, why have you done that? Why the pause?
Kaquka just trying to calm him down. Come on, Ryan. Through the glass, of course.
Okay.
It's like stroking the glass instead of his shoulder.
Oh, God.
Just draw it like a and then drawing a smiley face. That's how you calm Ryan down, for anybody wondering.
Oh, I didn't know. Zolka's not getting this ulti up on top. Oh, he did. Did he? He aimed for the boxes? He did. Okay. Where he was looking when he popped it, I didn't think he'd gotten it, but okay. This is nice. So you're stopping anybody coming above. He can cover both angles by himself. But in fact, playing completely out of it because
he's not going to get back in.
He doesn't get there in time. No! And it's so big brain by Gambit. Obviously, they use the drone to push him out. This happens all the time, but you just walk right in afterwards, right? Not this time, because they slow it down, and the Viper's Pit is out of play. I mean, no kill, no damage, but 300 IQ.
Oh, God. That's got to be frustrating. A wasted ultimate. And Yumpy, why? We sort of mentioned that. Does he get in his own head? The answer is unequivocally no. Still trying to get aggressive into mid. He's been caught, though. It's Chronicle. But the time is still ticking. Gambit need to make a decision. And the decision they're making is to push into the A site. There were two
30
players
seconds
there,
left.
but it looks like it's about to be left onto Scream to try and save them, and they are selling this fake beautifully. They've thrown in the wall on B. They're just trying to pull Liquid all the way in. Oh, there's only 20 seconds left. There's no way they go A now, but do they clear Scream? That's the question. Not quite originally, and he manages to dismiss out of there, trying to waste as much time as humanly possible, but Nats comes in from behind. It's left on to the remaining two to try and clutch this out.
There they are.
Interesting snake fight, not quite landing, so they're able to run out. Oh my God, Link, what was that?
Oh, he's on!
Oh, he's hit another.
Oh my God!
Link is just getting them all doming, and Shados is the last alive. He returns the favor, but it's already halfway defused. He's on his way forward by the time Scream swings in to take the kill, and Liquid somehow get away with that one. Not somehow. Link got them that round. He has kept them alive right now. What an incredible retake onto the side. I couldn't believe it. The first shot was ridiculous.
Who spams
and he
one
just
bullet?
didn't stop.
Like, who does that? Who just goes, like, who does that?
Oh.
Like, actually, who does that? I also want to point out to the guys at Liquid, if you win this map, you as an organization have got to send a letter to the Queen to get Link knighted. Because at this stage, that is one of the most ridiculous single-handed retakes I've ever seen in my life.
I had nothing, Tom. I had nothing. I had no words.
Just screams.
Processing what I was witnessing was difficult enough. It's absolutely incredible, and it's not just the play; it's the timing of.
Where did he go? Where did he go?
We're gonna pretend we didn't see that and keep singing Link's praises before he loses that knighthood. A little bit of a whiff. Solkus is reloading. They've pushed. Oh God. If they win the previous round like that, and now lose versus a weak buy,
No.
I mean, surely not.
No.
The numbers are in their favor.
There is a res.
They've got everything on lockdown. It's well, there
It's
is.
not in a good
Where can he res? Exactly. He would have to now push all the way back around, and there's a flank from Scream. This Liquid have them
Scanning
boxed
ahead.
in, everything going their way. 50 seconds on the clock, no possibility to plant, no Viper left, so there's no wall to play with. Shados doesn't even have one himself, so there is no way to plant where they would like to, and instead, oh, I guess he's trying to bait them out into peeking. So Shados could kill them. Right, I really thought they'd plant for mid there, Tom. I was like leaning that 100% in my head. Instead, they've baited them into a fight, won it, and now have a 2 versus 2 post plant. Both players coming from towards the site. Scream's flank ends up being completely pointless. Did they spot Shade? Oh, he headshot him on the swing around. Luckily, they deal with him. Scream was left on 40 HP after that. If that was not a Spectre, if that was a Phantom, he was gone, and that round was probably Gambit's. But again, like a hair's width. Team Liquid hold on to this, although a little concerning considering the round that was in it.
This has got to be one of the weirdest and most wonderful maps of Valorant I have ever watched in my life. There is not a round that hasn't had something in it, which has just been ridiculous. This shouldn't have been close. This shouldn't have been close. And now, oh, there's smiles on the Liquid faces because they are dragging this back. 9-3 down. 4 rounds in a row. They've been close. There's been opportunities for Gambit, but they might be starting to dwindle a little bit now. And with their attacking side starting to look a little bit weaker, well, they need a hero of their own.
They do. That they do. And it looks like Gambit are going to go back to their old tricks. Slow default. Holding mid, holding A, and looking for a bit of pressure on the B side. The drone needs to be destroyed. Defo's going to manage that, but we're not going to have too much in the way of concentrated presence in the first minute of the round. But as it winds down, you can see that they are angling towards the B side. But Tom, there's a lot of blue players over here, a lot of Team Liquid guys ready to pounce. They've started to shift back towards covering middle and A, worried that a lurker might be under or on the way. Little do they know, or little did they know, the site is under. What?
One
And he gets a third. Okay, go on, get a little bit more. Why not Solkus? I mean, Gambit needed a hero, and instead Team Liquid got yet another one.
The Team Liquid have one good mouse. Is that what this is? And they're just like switching it between the different PCs in each round? Because this doesn't make any sense. Like we've seen players do like very little in the map and then do that. And then the next round, that guy just completely whiffs. And then the next guy comes along and goes, cheers for the mouse, Link, and just gets 2 headshots through smoke. This doesn't make any sense. And why did Liquids manage to do this every single time they're in the lower bracket? This is straight BS. I don't understand. And now they're only 3 rounds away from going to Masters, and this one isn't even a bye.
They were at 9-3 down. I mean, things were looking pretty rough for them coming into this half, and they didn't exactly start out well either. Gambit have stalled. And Team Liquid, these hero plays one after another. He's kept the mouse, absolutely. I mean, he was only against the Spectre. Maybe that's his own mouse. Maybe Link's taking it back. They're not going to res.
Switching it. They're quick switching.
They're not going to res, right? Shadows tapped it for a second, but there's no way. They need a kill. If they find a kill here, maybe they do. But here's a big problem. Look at where the spike is, and look at the B push. Oh, they're just going for it.
Okay.
It's a huge investment considering the round they're in. I'm very surprised. And now the spike is down.
Spike down. Attacker spawn.
A few seconds later, and I can almost 100% say they would not have put that in. There's also a late screen going down, which is going to make things even more awkward for them. Some decent angles possible. Link in the corner is going to be really difficult to clear. He's got his teammates rotating around him. They know way they expected that. And now it's Link to come back with another 4K. 11-11. Team Liquid have pulled themselves back from imminent defeat. And now Gambit, it's looking like it's happening again. There were so many hopes for this squad to make it through. They were in that upper bracket. They tried it versus Ascend. They lost 2-1. They had a fantastic victory on Bind. Then they go through in a dominant position in the first half. And now they are level with Liquid. And there's only 2 rounds before Liquid go to Masters again.
I love Scream's reaction there. You can see the passion. And this is where Liquid are definitely ahead in the mental game. We said this is a team that you can imagine will be able to bounce back from the defeat of the previous map. And after the first half it ended, it wasn't looking like that was the case. But now they're here and looking to fight for it all the way. Hunter's Fury coming in right off the bat, and it's not doing too much. It tags up Redgar a little bit. Lots of spams onto Solkas. He's not quite as keen to leave that Viper's Pit as he was before. I wonder why.
That's not the start they were looking for. We've not really seen much pressure put onto this A side, but with Yumpy's operator there, they're going to try a different move. Information garnered into mid. They have so many position cover, but it looks like they're going to try and push through this. Now, there is a player on the other side in Cryptics, but will he just expect them to burst straight through? Well, never mind. They've actually taken a turn. And Shados is actually going to find Link this time.
Welcome to my box and screen down.
Well, another Viper's Pit is going to be pulled up into play.
Timing. That was the spike rotating. It's actually killed off Cryptics, who was trying to lurk in behind them. Yumpy is going to try and do the same thing. Oh, it's awkward as hell. It's so confusing for Nats, I'm sure. And that's going to be the Viper's Pit going down. That's all the cover they had for the plant, Mitch.
Planted.
We're into an even 2-on-2, and we've got Hunter's Fury to play with here for Redgar, but where can he even go to use it right now? No information on the second player, so instead he's just going to hunker down on the site. And wait, they've heard Defo. They know exactly where he is. That drop down was heard a second ago as Scream starts to creep in behind. If Defo falls, this round is almost certainly Team Liquid's. Redgar has 20 health to make this clutch happen. He delivers the first headshot and now tries to reposition up atop the rope, and the shots will not land. Solkas finding the 12th round for Team Liquid as they look to now claim their spot in Masters. 1 more to go. If Gambit can't get off the starting mark, overtime won't happen, and they will be out. Another missed Masters event after the first one went in their pocket. I mean, you couldn't make this up. Considering the lead that Gambit had, Tom, I was ready to move on to the next series already, and you got to give Team Liquid so much credit for keeping themselves in it.
I can't believe that the one thing that happened in that round that completely ruined it for Gambit was that push from Yumpy. And you might just be thinking, it's only one kill, Tom. Why did it make the difference? He pushes through and kills the guy who obviously owned the Viper's pit while they're about to plant it, and it gets dropped and opens up a position for Scream. That is the one person in that moment that they did not want to die. That is unbelievable. And Liquid, I love it. You like your pauses, do you, Gambit? How much you sweating now? We've won 7 rounds in a row, and Joe, I think we need a technical pause, guys.
Yeah. Oh, did my mouse stop working? Do we need a technical as well? Can extend this a little bit. Wow, I'm blown away by this comeback. You know, Liquid didn't even really win both pistols. That's the thing, right? They win the first, and then they just get slapped back on. They look dead on arrival.
Yeah. I'll be honest.
I can't believe
this qualification would be the most Liquid qualification ever.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Get out of my way.
Looking for the 13th. Team Liquid now facing off against Gambit's attack once more, and Scream is not looking to let up. He is pushing all the way down through the tube and looking to catch them out on middle. Nats has landed a big double kill. Scream they spotted him. I think they did, but he manages to kill quickly enough to get out. Chronicle, who's been sat in spawn all round watching for a B push, manages to come in with the trade, but keep things in favor of Gambit. Just one man to the good, as Link wants to make his way in towards middle to get this res, and he will secure it. Nats on the lurk. The rest of the players get the A side and now come in for the plant. The operator of Yampy is the one that gets res. This would be a huge difference maker for them, and a good shot by Link. He's already on the side, and now the pressure is there, so Nats has to make this flank happen, and he has to make it work. The first kill goes his way. Team Liquid need to move to site. Nats with 4. He's saving this round alone. Link has to clutch it out once again, and it will not happen. It's overtime.
Nats is not letting it happen again. We've seen those plays from Link. We've seen them from Soulcast, but when it mattered most, it's the man who I believe has top fragged every single map for his team thus far, who is coming through once again on that Viper. Nats has saved them here. But you're just thinking, they get that round just a little bit sooner. This is a done deal. And now for Liquid, the pressure is right back on. It looked like they had that in the bag before that hero play came through.
3 down.
For such an important game, so many individuals stepping it up. I mean, how many rounds have we seen because of 4Ks? It's incredible, especially with the res. Coming into overtime at 12-12, Gambit on defensive side. They go back to their comfort zone. Remember, and I mean, just look at that, the scoreboard there. The timeline. Only 2 attacking rounds were won by Team Liquid. They're going to have to improve on that.
This is where both teams have had their strengths. The defensive side looking to come through. The rinse and repeat from Liquid. It was only really an A-site simulator, and this time Scream has kicked it off with a bang. They need someone to step up on Gambit, but it isn't happening. Cryptix has picked off another. The aggressive plays from Shados was one of the saving graces in their defensive side. He was so good at finding them ways back into these rounds, and the afterplants from Liquid were not great.
Well, let's hope they're a little better this time. A 5v3, and it turns into 4 players left alive, as Nats is quick to find one. He's 2 away from ulti, and that could be very impactful, but a long way to go before that's the thing. Recon, a reveal Link up close. They know that he's here, and he still gets away with 2. Team Liquid on the verge of victory. Shados has to get another 4K clutch, and it won't happen this time around. 13-12. Map and series point again for Team Liquid, and now they move on to their defensive side. I mean, this has got to be a very, very good sign for them closing this out. The fact they won 2 buy rounds, Tom, on their previous attack, and they came in there and made it look pretty easy.
The wind is in their sails, flowing through Link's luscious locks, or maybe not. I guess the breeze on his forehead, but whatever it is, it's finding him such high impact, and that's who he is, the Captain Impact. He does so much in the rounds where Liquid need it the most, and the second half was when they needed it the most for the entirety of the half. Now Gambit have to do what, well, they managed in the final round of regulation. find one round to keep them in this map and match and tournament.
Gambit want to go to Berlin. It starts here. Somehow the team that was 9-3 in the lead after the first half is now facing in fact, 11-5, right? And they're now facing into what could be a loss in the series, an elimination from this stage of VCT. Out of the running for Masters 3. 50 seconds on the clock. Team Liquid bunkered down, every angle covered. Yampy's operator in play. Watching for that B push, and you could see the Chronicle is going to be coming out here fairly soon. The question is, does he pop a Lear as he goes? Yes, he does. He's got it in hand. There we go. Yampy pushed off the angle for now. This is going to buy a little bit of space because he's worried about a player coming out the left side. Normally, the head is seen, the shot not connected, rotates, should commence, but they need someone to hold on to B, Tom, and they've just been overrun.
Double entries coming in. Nats and Chronicle doing the work, and now it's Liquid's turn to attempt the retake. Not something that we really saw too often from them. They had much more of a shutout half. Nat's in the corner. He's low on HP. Anything he gets here is valuable, but Scream takes him down with no trouble. Soulcast has already found another one. We head into the 3 versus 3. Such a good position from Defo, though. He'll shut down Scream before he can get anything more done. It's left onto the Brits, and well, only one of them standing now. Cryptic's in the 1 versus 2 to try and take this home for Liquid, head them off to Berlin, but he's got so much left to find, and actually, he's baited him Redgar, but the jump, he'll be able to escape at least for the moment. The time ticking so far gone, and Shados knows that all he has to do is land the final shot, and we will head into a second OT.
Keep them coming. This is certainly what we wanted on the previous map, and it's what we're getting here to close out the series. One map to fight for Masters Berlin, and they are certainly fighting, skirmishing as Team Liquid go back to the attack side. A pretty upsetting round for them there, really. I think Gambit did a lot right when they came towards the B approach, popping down the Lear. But unfortunate for Yampy not being able to find either of those, and the fact that they weren't able to contain the mid play. I mean, a lot went wrong for them in that round that we just haven't seen. And I think that was their worst defensive buy round that we've seen so far.
Oh dear, oh dear. Lightning fops from Defo. He's going to already get them the opening pick in such a close position from Chronicle. He doesn't necessarily need to play this aggressive. He's going to get spotted out by the drone. Oh, until he drops off, and he's going to be caught by Scream, who's just going to try and play off of this. The counter, though, is Shados, who swings onto the second kill. The trades just go in their favor. It's only Cryptics remaining again, and this time he can do nothing.
Where do you go from here? Team Liquid. They lost out on the previous map. They got crushed coming into the start of this. Now they have to do it yet again. Fight back for another overtime to hold on to this controller. Gambit are going to be going to their second Masters event, having won out the first. And it was just for the CIS, but it would be their first international as well, and you know that means so much to them.
Well, yeah, they'd be the first from their entire region to make it to an international event. No matter what happens at the event, that puts them in the history books. They'd be the first CIS team to battle. And that even includes the likes of teams like FPX, who are technically a CIS core, even though they play within EU. It's a real opportunity for Gambit to make history. Liquid, though, they have some history of their own to make. They'll be the first team to qualify directly to champions. As said, this is one for the history books.
Gambit sitting there right now saying, "Hey, Liquid, you like your tech pauses, huh? You liked calling that one earlier on, huh?
You used our attack pause against us, did you? Well, you know what? We're going to use our attack pause against you that you used against us."
Oh.
How'd you like them apples?
Rock, paper, scissors, and a few more thrown in there.
I want to say there is 100 other versions of that sentence where I mucked that up completely, so I'm quite proud of myself.
Yeah, you did well, Tom. I'm proud of you too.
And I'm never going to try that again. We're going to leave that. I'll just record it and play it back to myself.
The switch up from Yampy, I think this is pretty much to counter the fact that previously you saw him pushed off by one piece of utility. What is that drop shot? That's unreasonable.
Well, if that's the way they go out, I don't even know. I don't know if they're ever going to be able to watch this map back. Once again,
Enemy tag.
we see Liquid play from a deficit. They have turned a million rounds, it feels, on their head, but this A site is now going to be pressured, something we didn't see often, and Cryptic's left to defend.
This could be the moment where Team Liquid fall. They need a hero, and it's not Yampy this time around. Nats being tagged up a little, but it is but a scratch. The shot onto Chronicle. Small amount of hope for Team Liquid to buy their way back into this site, fighting for survival. They're worried about the flank, but it's cleared now. All they have to do is focus on the site itself. Defo connects one from above, and a sneaky position by Nats still hiding behind that plant spot. They need to clear this out. In fact, they're going to spam it. He's left down on 1 HP, and Cryptix eliminates him. 2 versus 2. Shados up close to the wall, the last man alive, and Solkas deals with him. It's Redgar, excuse me, but actually being further back. A shock dart in play. It's not going to land. And Team Liquid get away with it yet again. A fraction of a second left in it. 3.46. If that shock dart lands, that may well be the end of the round. The end of the game, in fact. But we go again. Another overtime for us, Tom.
How did they lose this? Like, how did, like, firstly, to re-spam this after finding the initial kill. This was a 2 versus 4. That was the best hope for Gambit ever. Again, if they lose like this, they're gonna have to never watch this VOD ever again. This will be the most painful loss they've ever had. And they need to try and bounce back from it straight away. There is very little break, no time to breathe. It's Liquid. Wow, they've got another lifeline. They've had many throughout this map.
The question is, who's going to take this round and call the tactical pause right after? Both battling for the honor, for the mental victory. Chronicle is the first to fall, and he's had a really tough overtime. A wall down actually on the A side as well. This is going to allow a solo hold. I mean, they can only really come from pipes or the rope, which can easily be watched by Defo. Now under a little bit of pressure. Team Liquid rotating fully. They're looking for a B hit.
And they're being given the space as well. Nats is going to slowly try and push back in to garner at least a little bit more control. He's got a rotation coming in from Shados as well, but realistically, denying this plant is going to be easier said than done. Unless there's a wall spam that can come through. Other than that, it looks like they're going to have to try and play a retake with a disadvantage, which definitely isn't an ideal scenario. Now, nothing's been spotted on A for a long, long time, so they should now have a pretty decent idea of where this is going.
Snake bite down. Oh, Link doesn't get it planted. Great play by Nats with a double kill, but he is returned on 10 seconds. They're coming up on as they go for yet another plant. The wall being broken, but not in time. And Defo connecting from afar. The 2 versus 2. An operator in the hands of Defo still. But no one's going to be peeking those ranged angles. Scream just checking as they come up close. He turns away. Perhaps at the wrong moment. Now that player posted up. He'll use the Leer to cover it and lose a lot of his HP in the process. Down to 0. Cryptix alive, and a shock dart takes the kill. Hiding at the back, Yellow running down the clock. The time is on his side. Defo with Phantom now to play with, and he wins it. The wall bang connected, and a 15th round secured for Team Gambit. It's been a long road, Tom, but once again, map and series point, qualification point for Masters 3.
Switching sides.
I feel like we don't even need to say it anymore. If anybody's joining at this point, firstly, what have you been doing instead? Like, I'm just going to say that whatever choices you're making in your life, they are wrong. Secondly, you should know the weight of this game. Qualification spot to Berlin. And as said, for Liquid, a chance to be straight through into champions. It is everything on the line. And you know what? Gambit have their chance once again. The last time, they lost their 2 versus 4 retake, but still they managed to come back fighting. The mental fortitude looking strong, and it starts exactly the same way. Sure, it's not a drop shot, but it is still the death of Scream. His aggression just not working out. The exact same play tried twice, and while Gambit aren't falling for that, again, they're going to find another opener. Straight in onto the B side. What? How does Link get that kill? Straight through the wall, hits the headshot onto Shados, and he'll be out of this one.
A lifeline for Team Liquid. The pressure is definitely on. The updraft from Defo almost cost him his life here. The operator bought up by Yampi. Cryptic's taken down on an attempt to buy his way back into the site. He leaves his teammates stranded and alone. No flank to come through. Yampi's up, not ideal for this situation. Gambit might just have it under their belt at long last. A few of these players low, but we've seen clutches again and again. This time, Nat side swipes and leaves Yampi alone. Gambit are going to Masters. The first international event for this squad, the second Masters event, as Team Liquid fall in the lower bracket. They'll still have a chance later on in the last chance qualifier, more than likely, but for Gambit, this is a huge...
Everyone else is screaming and he's just sat in the chair.
Just chilling. Yeah, he is an emotionless,
I love him so
killer.
much. He's my favorite player.
I'll say, I saw the cams there while we were still on the in-game feed of Team Liquid, and it was a very different vibe. You can see on their faces how much this means to them. And with this loss, again, they're not out of the running for champions altogether, but this is going to be the team that made such a deep run in Masters 2, missing out on the international event in place of Gambit representing the CIS at the second international event. And I have to say, they're one of the strongest teams that we have in EMEA. Watch out, NA.
Yeah, I'm so happy to see them go. Like, the thing is with Liquid, they fight every game so valiantly. That's one of the most impressive comebacks I've ever seen. I think at that point, you almost have to sit there and go that they deserve to take the dub. Like, those were some of the craziest clutches we've ever watched. And honestly, it took a mammoth performance in overtime from Gambit to take it over the line. Even in a 4 versus 2, they couldn't close it. But they finally done it. First team from the CIS going to a Masters event. Huge congratulations to them.
Absolutely. A massive series completed, but we have another to come up soon. And of course, an analyst segment to break down what just happened. But before we get to all of that, it's time once again for you guys at home to participate. At the end of every series, we have the PaySafe card player of the match. And this time you're going to have 3 options. They are Redgar, Chronicle, and Nats.
It's Nats.
Go ahead and place your vote. I mean, if you could
click
vote
anything
for Nats,
other Nats, you are wrong.
You're not going to end up with a happy boy, though, if he ends up getting selected. I think he'll just go, I'm player of the match. Cool. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So going over to @ValEsports_EU to get your vote in for the PaySafe card player of the match. For now, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, AD's breaking all that action down. And of course, previewing the next series, one more team to qualify to Masters. See you soon.